Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha
It should go up, no? No,
अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद के नाम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि शाम की नाम श्री गोवर्धन की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, नाम संकीर्तन श्री प्रभुपाद Hey, Hari Hari, all glories to somebody. All glories to somebody who is Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurudmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaः. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishthaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namah. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम। Hare Krishna. So, welcome all for this wonderful series of Krishna Leela pastimes that we're listening from. Very senior, wonderful devotees you have already listened. Today we try to listen and try to understand chapters 46 and 47. Chapters 46 and 47 Krishna book is the 46th chapter is Uddhava visits Vrndavana, and the 47 is delivery of the message of Krishna to the Gopis. First of all, let me thank His Grace Sankarshan Prabhu and the team devotees who have given me the service so that I can glorify the Lord as devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam for my purification. So thank you so much. Before we start today's discussing today's chapter, let me give a quick context to where we are as of now. So Krishna has killed Kamsa and helped Mathuravasis or liberated them, Mathuravasis, from the torture of Kamsa. And at the same time, he also met his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. But at that moment, Vasudeva and Devaki were in a mood of awe and reverence. And by the influence of Krishna and Yogamaya, that awe and reverence was changed to parental or vatsalya. And that's when they could release the bhava of mood of parent and child. So Krishna and Vasudeva and Devaki. There was a wonderful reunion of parents and the children. And it was almost more than a decade that they have been separated, 10 years. Now, if you see in that sense, after killing Kamsa and liberating the Mathuravasis, Krishna's purpose was completed. Krishna's purpose of coming to Mathura was completed. And if you have heard earlier, before when Akrura had come to Vrndavana to take away Krishna, there was a discussion between Vrndavana and Nanda Maharaj, and they discussed that yes, Krishna is capable enough of protecting himself, and for that matter, if he need, he can also kill. If any other attack is there, he can also kill Kamsa and he can take care of himself. So after that, probably he'll come back. So Vrindavan Vasis, Brajavasis, and the Gopis were all in that mood that after finishing that purpose, Krishna will come back. So in a sense, it was a mission accomplished from a Brajavasi perspective. What happened was Krishna now tells Nanda Maharaj that Baba, I know I have completed the mission. The purpose was completed, but there is much more that I have to complete. What he means by that is, we all know Jarasandha had married two of his daughters to Kamsa. And when Kamsa was killed, obviously who will be angry? Jarasandha will be angry. And there is a higher chance, probability that Jarasandha will attack. And Krishna should be there to protect himself, protect the Mathuravasi. But we all know what all has incurred after that. So we all also know what was Krishna's purpose by after that to be in Mathura rather than going to Vrindavan. So he requested Nanda Maharaj and also for the fact that he had established Ugrasena. Krishna did not take the kingdom, but he had established Ugrasena back to his throne and also reinstated many other good Mathuravasis or senior people over there on different nice positions. So all these entitled that Krishna would go back to Nanda Maharaj, but Krishna had a different purpose and he requested Nanda Maharaj that you all should leave from here. And Nanda Maharaj with a very heavy heart. And Nanda Maharaj, though a male in body, you can imagine the situation of Yashoda Mai. Right from the point when she knew that Akrura had taken back Krishna, she was in a very desperate situation. And after hearing that he's not coming back, she was devastated. But that is what it is. So Krishna stays, and Nanda Maharaj, along with all the Brajavasis, he goes back. So now after that, what happened was Vasudeva and Devaki, as parents, they have the responsibility. So Krishna, till this point, he had completed the responsibilities of a Vaishyas because they were outward persons. So that is a Vaishya vritti. So now Krishna is a Kshatriya, and he has to complete his responsibilities of being a Kshatriya. So what happened was Vasudeva and Devaki arranged for Krishna's education. And we all know who was the teacher of Krishna and Balarama, Sandipa Muni. So Krishna and Balarama go to Sandipa Muni's ashram and they take nice education. Krishna learns in 64 days all the 64 arts. Okay? And he also meets his friend Sudama over there. So after all the education is completed, now Krishna is back to Mathura. And one day he calls Uddhava. We all would have heard Uddhava was not even, so he was almost similar looking to Krishna. He used to wear same type of clothes. He used to eat his remnants. So almost similar looking to Krishna. His body was also dark complexion. And also he used to wear his ornaments. Now to understand the mood of Uddhava, we can refer to 11th canto, 6th chapter, 46th shloka. Very nice shloka. So it says, Vaya upabhukta shragandha vaso alankara charchitaha uchishta bhojino dasas tava mayam jayamahi. So what he says is, Vaya upabhukta shragandha means what the Shraga means flowers, the garlands that he was wearing. And what you have worn, so the garlands that he has worn, after he has worn, Krishna leaves it, and Uddhava used to wear that. whatever remnants, whatever bhoga that Krishna has eaten, that remnants, that remnants Uddhava used to eat. So, and the alankara also, the ornaments, all the jewels, what he has worn, he used to wear. Uchishta bhojino dasas, whatever uchishta he used to eat. And similarly, what we also do, we as devotees also partake the remnants of whatever we offer to the Lord. We partake the remnants of the Lord, we offer as bhoga. So it is said, Acharya is right in the purport. Uddhava is addressing the Lord as follows. Even if your illusory energy tries to attack us, even if your illusory energy tries to attack us, my Lord, we will very easily conquer her by our powerful weapons. So Uddhava is saying, we can easily conquer Krishna, your illusory energy, by our powerful weapons. And what are those weapons? First one, remnants of your good stuff, clothes, ornaments, and so on. So he says, in other words, we will easily conquer our Maya by Krishna Prasad and not by useless speculation and mental concoction. A very clear message Uddhava is saying. So how we can conquer? Simply by accepting the remnants of the Lord in whatever ways possible. Now Uddhava is to take that. Now what Krishna says to Uddhava is, since he had called Uddhava to Mathura, he says, my dear Uddhava, I want one help from you. And what is that help? I want you to go to Vrndavana and deliver a message, deliver a personal message to the Brajavasis. I could have gone, but I have many more responsibilities to complete here. So I want you to go to Vrndavana and deliver this message. Okay. So what happens is Uddhava goes to Vrndavana. Now before that, Krishna, if you can read, now as I said, we are reading from chapter 46 and 47. So text number 4 in 46th chapter, 10 to 10. Krishna says, Taman manaskamat prapa mad arthe tyaktadaihikaha mam eva daitum preshtham atmanam manasagataha yetekva lok dharmascha mad arthe tam vibharme aham. So Krishna says, the minds of those gopis are always absorbed in me, and their very lives are ever devoted to me. For my sake, they have abandoned everything related to their bodies, renouncing ordinary happiness in this life, as well as religious duties necessary for such happiness in the next life. I alone am their dearest beloved, and indeed their very self. Therefore, I take it upon myself to sustain them in all circumstances. So Krishna is talking about the mind of the gopis, and that is exactly why Krishna is asking Uddhava to go to Vrindavana and deliver his personal message. So he says, for my sake, they have abandoned everything. The gopis loved Krishna so, the Acharya is right in the purport. The gopis loved Krishna so intensely that they could think of nothing else. Since Sri Krishna maintains ordinary devotees engaged in sadhana bhakti, devotional service and practice, he will certainly maintain the gopis, his most exalted devotees. So he says, my dear Uddhava, can you go on my behalf as they are suffering intensely from my separation? Can you go and console them? Believe me, it is a very difficult task. We'll hear from Uddhava himself and gopis also how difficult the task was. So here we have to understand how Krishna reciprocates to those who are constantly meditating on him. We'll come to the topic later. So here we have to understand how our eternal relationship is permanent with Krishna and rest all is temporary. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, among countless millions of such dear things, Sri Krishna is the most dear of all, even dearer than one's own self. The gopis had realized this fact, and thus they were stunned in separation from the Lord because of their intense love for him. Although they would have given up their lives, they were kept alive by the Lord's transcendental potency. That was the only thing. See how Lord takes care of that as well. Okay, so that was the only thing that the gopis were alive. Now we have not heard. We are talking about gopis suffering intense separation from Krishna when Krishna was not there. We all know when Krishna was there, even when they cursed Brahma, that why you created such a creation, that when the eyes blink, they could not see Krishna, and they suffered like a yuga's separation. That was the mood of gopis. And here what we're talking is Krishna himself is not there. So imagine the intensity of the separation that they're feeling. So because of this, Krishna knew this, and Krishna was concerned. And that's the reason why he sent Uddhava with a personal message to Vrndavana. Okay. So hence, as a messenger, requested Uddhava to go to Vrndavana. Now, with this, we come to the chapter. So Uddhava, when he reached Vrndavana, it was almost evening time. And evening time is when all the cows come back to their homes. And because when they come, a lot of dust is raised when they run with the hoops, right? So many did not see Uddhava's chariot. Similar when I think Akrura also when he came, that was also during evening time. So same in the same situation, same way. But Akrura saw the footprints of Krishna. See the difference. Akrura saw the footprints of Krishna because Krishna was there at that time, and he had come to take Krishna back. So he saw the footprints. When he saw the footprints, he got on the chariot and rolled in the dust of the footprints. But here, Uddhava is coming, and Krishna is not there. Nobody has seen him, but now he has reached Nanda Maharaj. Okay. Somehow he reached Nanda Maharaj, and when Nanda Maharaj saw him, he was exactly looking at Krishna. And he welcomes him, and gives him all hospitality, and immediately starts speaking about Krishna. See, that is the consciousness, that is the mood, and that is the separation that they have. Not a single moment. Otherwise, not even asking, he gave him all the hospitality. But the next immediate question was, how is my dear Krishna? And he starts speaking about his pastimes. How he killed the Asuras, the Putna, and all those things he starts speaking. And this is Nanda Maharaj. So Sukadeva Goswami says, now here in text number 47, in chapter 46, sorry, text number 27. Yeah. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Shri Shuka Uvacha iti samshritya Nanda Krishnamraktadi atya utkantho abhavat tushnim prema prasara viblaha. Sukadeva Goswami is saying, thus intensely remembering Krishna again and again, Nanda Maharaj, his mind completely attached to the Lord, felt extreme anxiety and felt silent, overcome by the strength of his love. This was what Nanda Maharaj's position was. Now imagine the position of Yashoda Mai. In text number 28, Sukadeva Goswami explains the position of Yashoda Mai. Yashoda varnayamanani putrasya charitani cha shrinmanti ashruni ashak avaksha shakshit snehasnuta payodhara. Mother Yashoda could not utter a single word in front of Uddhava. Since the time she heard that Krishna is going to Mathura, since then she could not control her mind and was totally immersed in feelings of separation. She could not do anything, could not hear anything. For that matter, in purport it is mentioned that she could not recognize Uddhava. See, when somebody comes to her house, forget the male, but the female personality who is there, they will definitely welcome them, give them water, or try to do whatever is necessary for that guest who has come. But here Yashoda Mai is in such intense separation, she could not think anything else. In fact, Uddhava, we know that Uddhava was also looking as Krishna, but she understood that he is not Uddhava, he is not Krishna. With that, she could not recognize Uddhava, treat him with parental affection, ask him any questions, or give him any message for her son. She was simply overwhelmed with love for Krishna. This is the prettiest condition of Yashoda Mai. At least Nanda Maharaj was at least composed. Okay, though he was internally devastated. Now, as soon as I said, Nanda Maharaj, as soon as he saw Uddhava, he started talking his pastimes, what Krishna has done so far. And for that matter, he also said, Mathura Vasis would be doubly happy. Why? First of all, Kamsa is killed. And second, Krishna is there. So they have a double whammy, double bonus, right? So they would not be missing Krishna, right? But the situation of Mathura, so here we see Mathura, situation of Mathura and Vrindavan is totally contradictory. Yeah. Now, Vrindavan is such a place where Brajavasis are constantly thinking of Krishna. And this is the only activity they do in Braja, apart from rendering service to Krishna. That is the only thing that they do in Braja. Okay. Now, in text 46, in text number 30, now what happens? Uddhava has come for a purpose. Uddhava has come to deliver a message to Brajavasis and the Gopis. Yeah. In 30, Uddhava now starts giving the message to Nanda Baba. So he says, "O respectful Nanda, certainly you and Mother Yashoda are the most praiseworthy persons in the entire world, since you have developed such a loving attitude toward Lord Narayana, the spiritual master of all living beings." And after that, in text 32 and 33, he says, "Anyone, even a person in an impure state, who absorbs his mind in him for just a moment of the time of death, burns up all traces of sinful reactions and immediately attains the supreme transcendental destination in a pure spiritual form as effulgent as the sun. You too have rendered exceptional loving service to him, Lord Narayana, the super soul of all and cause of all existence, the great soul who, although the original cause of everything, has a human-like form. What pious deeds could still be required of you?" See, these are kind of consoling words that he is giving to Yashoda Mai Nanda. We should understand that. He has come to deliver a message. What Krishna said was, "Go and console my parents and the Gopis and the Brajavasis." And that is exactly what Uddhava was doing. Uddhava was, if we know the background of Uddhava, he was a disciple of Brihaspati. Brihaspati, who is the guru of the demigods, right? So imagine the intelligence that he had. And he is a messenger. What is the duty of messenger? Just give what has been told. What has been told, but intelligently, without digressing or diluting the message that you have come to. So now, very intelligently, he is giving that message. First, what he has done, he has glorified Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. What a beautiful service of that. Now, what he is saying, so much devotional service, so much loving attitude that you have, what more you have to do? What more you have required? Okay. Then he says, I can witness how much you both are absorbed in the remembrance of Krishna. So these are some solacing words that is giving to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Okay. Yeah. Now, in text 34, Uddhava also mentions that infallible Krishna. This is the punchline of the message. So he says, in text 34, he says, "Infallible Krishna, the Lord of the devotees, will soon return to Vraja to satisfy his parents." So now Uddhava gave that final line of message to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai that yes, Krishna has promised that he will return. When? Pata nahi. But he will return. Okay. So this was more than sufficient to satisfy Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai. Okay. He also describes the impartial nature of Krishna, where how Krishna does not discriminate. But what happens is, even though a lot of philosophy can be given to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai as Uddhava was speaking, but we can believe Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai are not in the mood to hear philosophy, because that mood is different. Okay. But he tried to mention all his qualities in all the next verses, starting from 32 and 34 to 37. But finally, when they heard, yes, Krishna would return one day, that was the only solace that they had. Now, all these things, discussing all these things, a whole night passed. And as morning dawned, they started doing their duties. Now, what are the duties? Nanda Maharaj finished all his morning chores, and obviously he take all the cows for grazing. And the gopis who were there around, they finished off all their morning chores and started churning the butter. And some of the gopis saw this beautiful chariot in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. Okay. Now this chariot, they had seen similarly chariot earlier. When was that? When Akrura had come. So now they knew. What did they knew? Definitely two things would happen. One is from Mathura, this chariot from Mathura, definitely, because they have only seen bullock carts, right? That is all that they have as chariot, in the form chariot. So this was a more opulent chariot. So this is from Mathura. And second thing which we felt was, did Akrura has come back? This was his thought. So this, when they thought that, and this is what they have described in that verse. Okay. So they thought, did Akrura come back again? What more does he want now? Okay. In text 49, if you read text 49, which is the last verse in this particular chapter, it says, the translation is, this is what the gopis' mood is when they saw the chariot. They say, is he? So they're thinking, is Akrura back? So now they're thinking, is he going to use our flesh? So what more has he come to take? He has already taken Krishna back. Is he going to use our flesh to offer funeral oblations for his master, who was so satisfied with his service? Who was his master? So they are saying, is he going to use our flesh to offer funeral oblations for his master, who was so satisfied with his service? As the women were speaking in this way, Uddhava appeared, finishing his early morning. So the gopis, when they saw Akrura, they considered Akrura, they named Akrura as Krura. And we can understand that mood from this particular 49 verse. Now we also can understand to a certain point why Krishna sent Uddhava, who resembled Krishna. Okay. Now, that is the amount of hatred that they had, for that particular service that Akrura did. Okay. Now, this is how we should understand, not Akrura himself. Now, going to the next chapter, which is where now Uddhava will deliver his message to Gopis. Okay. So, the first verse says, Shri Shuka Uvacha. I'll read the translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, the young woman of Braja became astonished upon seeing Lord Krishna's servant, who had long arms, whose eyes resembled a newly grown lotus, who wore a yellow garment and lotus garland, and whose lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. These are the descriptions of Uddhava. Okay, this is when. So this was a little bit satisfaction. So when they saw Uddhava coming after finishing his morning duties, they saw the chariot first. Immediately thought was Akrura. Then they see Uddhava coming. And when Uddhava came, Sukadeva Goswami is describing Uddhava here. So his lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. And then the gopis are asking, who is this handsome man? The gopis asked, where has he come from? And whom does he serve? See the question that is coming up. Whom does he serve? He is wearing Krishna's clothes and ornaments. Saying this, gopis eagerly crowded around Uddhava, whose shelter was the lotus feet of Lord Uttama Shloka, Shri Krishna. Okay. Immediately they did that. Now, when the gopis came closer, they saw someone, because now they know somebody looking like Krishna, he must be a friend of Krishna. Okay, that much they understood with all those descriptions that we read. Now, what they did, they took him to a secluded place. To do what? Obviously, ask about Krishna. Okay. And then, as expected, they asked, how is Krishna doing? Is he doing well? Is he happy with the woman of Mathura? Is he satisfied that he has abandoned all of us, the Vraja Gopis? You must have been sent by him. He could have come directly, but he sent you. Why he had sent you? These are some of the questions in all the shlokas that they've asked. Now they're saying, probably he doesn't want to look at us. or the Brajavasis, or the Gopis, or just to give, now this is a political statement, just to give an impression that I know, I'm still remembering you. That is the reason I've sent somebody at least to you. Okay, and these are all statements just to criticize Krishna. Now they're asking, forget about us. Isn't he remembering about his parents? Doesn't he care about Yashoda Mai? These are the questions that Gopis are asking. Now, of all the Gopis, there is one Gopi who was in the mood of intense separation, and we all know who that is, Srimati Radharani. And Radharani sees a bumblebee. Okay, sees a bumblebee coming, and thinking of the bumblebee as a messenger of Krishna, as a representative of Krishna, she chants a few shlokas from 10 shlokas from 11 till 21, and that is called as Bhramara. Okay. We will not discuss those shlokas because those are very esoteric, and we will skip that part. Okay. Though acharyas have elaborately explained those interactions, and it is also said that acharyas also say that Krishna would have taken that form of the bumblebee to be just near Srimati Radharani. That is also said. Okay. So we'll not discuss that. But now going forward, what happens is now Uddhava started speaking to the Gopis. So he says, my dear Gopis, Krishna remembers all of you, and he has sent a personal message through me, all the way from Mathura to Vrndavana. Now the Gopis' ears are raised that Krishna has sent a personal message to us. Okay. Now they got excited, and they now want to hear what Krishna has written to us. Now, Uddhava, rather than giving out that letter, he read that letter. Okay. What we will do is, there are shlokas related to that, but I wanted to read from Krishna book, which is the subject matter today. This is from chapter 47, 10th canto, chapter 47 Krishna book, starting from 29th onwards. Okay. Now here, acharyas also mentioned in the purport, acharyas have mentioned that though Krishna has written a philosophical message to the Gopis, but there is a inline message that the Gopis understand. It considered an inline message, a deeper meaning to that philosophical message to the Gopis. We will try to see if we can understand that. Yeah. So Uddhava started. So these are the words of the personality of God. My dear Gopis, my dear friends, please know that separation between ourselves is impossible at any time, at any place, or under any circumstances, because I am all pervaded. Okay. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Krishna book, and Srila Prabhupada has beautifully elaborated these particular shlokas in Krishna book. Beautifully elaborated. There is a huge purport to that, but I'll stick to a few paragraphs. I just picked out few of the lines from that. So Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Krishna book, okay, Krishna is both the material and the efficient cause of everything. This is basically an expansion of the word all pervading, and this is what Krishna has written to Gopis and how Gopis will understand. Okay, so he is always intermingled with everyone as cause and effect. Not only the Gopis, but all living entities are always inseparably connected with Krishna in all circumstances. Okay. The Gopis, however, are perfectly and thoroughly in cognition of this relationship with Krishna. Gopis knew this. Whereas the living entities under the spell of Maya, the illusory energy, are forgetful of Krishna and think themselves separate identities having no connection with. This is our problem. Yeah? But Gopis always understand that Krishna is always with them. Yeah? Now, Uddhava continued reading. The next message that Krishna did. Nothing is separate from me. So first he spoke about that I am all pervading. Okay. Then he said, nothing is separate from me. The whole cosmic manifestation is resting on me and is not separate from me. Before the creation, I was existing. These are some philosophical messages of whom he is giving to the Gopis. Okay. Krishna cannot be understood Srila Prabhupada is writing, Krishna cannot be understood unless one comes to the point of bhakti. Ultimately, as stated by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita, bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only through execution of devotion service can one understand Krishna. So only a bhakta can help us with the bhakti and can help us understand Krishna. That is the only way. Okay. The perfectional stage of devotion service was achieved by the Gopis because they did not care to know about anything else than Krishna. Okay. Uddhava continues reading Krishna's message. Okay. Transcendental knowledge of the absolute is no longer necessary for you. Who's writing this? Krishna is writing to Gopis. He spoke about that I am all pervading. He spoke about that I can be understood only through his bhaktas. Now Krishna is saying, transcendental knowledge of the absolute is no longer necessary for you. You were accustomed to loving me from the very beginning of your lives. You were accustomed to loving me from the very beginning of your lives. Krishna therefore said, my dear Gopis, to increase your super excellent love for me, I have purposely separated myself from you so that you may be in constant meditation on me. Yeah. So this is a wonderful message that Krishna is giving to the Gopis. So Krishna wanted to teach through the behavior of the Gopis that one who is constantly in trance, like the Gopis, surely attains this lotus feet. Now, for us, all of us, obviously, we can't achieve this bhava that Gopis or Krishna is putting in this message to the Gopis and what Gopis are understanding. What is the mood of Gopis? We definitely can't do that. We definitely can't imitate that. But what the best we can do is constantly and continuously remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That is the only thing that we can do. Yeah. And how we can remember constantly Krishna? By always chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Krishna wanted to teach all of us through this messages. Couple of philosophy topics he has told, but the crux of it, the essence of it, is that the mood of Gopis that never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. Yeah. Now, the Gopis were, it is also mentioned in the purport that the Gopis are born out of the Gopis were not of any highly cultured family, but of coward men. They were the simple Vaishya community. Yet they developed the highest love for Krishna, who is a super soul. Okay. And for self-realization or God realization, there is no need to take birth in a high family. The only thing needed is development of ecstatic love of God. That is a minimum qualification that we all have. We all have heard how Srila Prabhupada had gone to the MIT Institute. We all have heard that. Yeah, Boston. So he went to that. They all showed him all the things, all those so-called beautiful and exceptional things that they do over there. But Prabhupada asked only one thing. This is MIT. Where is the teaching of Almighty? That is the only thing that Prabhupada asked. That was the mood of Prabhupada, and that is what we have to do. Obviously, for our maintenance and all, we have to do what is necessary, but never forgetting Krishna and always Krishna. Always being grateful to what we have received. And that is the only thing that we have to do. Now, and there is no other qualification that is needed. Yes, we might have all the qualifications, but what we have to do is dovetail all this qualification in the service of Krishna, in the service of Guru and Gauradas. That is only what we can do. And Krishna will bestow his benediction upon anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness without any doubt. So Uddhava reads out this message and says at the end that as he told Nanda Baba and Yashodamai that all said and done, all the philosophy and all he has narrated, but and he said Krishna will come. Similarly, for Gopis also he says the same thing. Uddhava reads out the message and says that I will not keep in Krishna is saying, I will not keep in separation for a long time. And very soon, I will come back to give you my association to you so that please trust me and that I promise you. When? But he's promised that I will come to you. Okay. And with that, Gopis were consoled, and they were consoled by this statement that Krishna wanted to increase their love for him by causing separation. So that Uddhava reads the letter from Krishna, what the purpose that he had come for, and tried to console the Gopis. And Uddhava, after that, continued staying in Vrndavana for, I think, a couple of months. He stayed over there. But when he stayed, he could experience the love that the Brajavasis had for Krishna, the mood that they had. And he also saw that all the nook and corners, how every nook and corner was always remembering Krishna, was always in the mood of separation of Krishna. And what happened was Uddhava, in that mood, sang a song to glorify the Gopis. This is in text 40, chapter 47, text 58. So Uddhava says, Eta param tanubhrita bhuvi gopavadha vadho govind eva nikhalatmani rudha bhavaha vanchanti yad bhavabhiya munayo vayam cha kim brahma janmabhi ananta katharasasya. So Uddhava sang, and this is to glorify the Gopis. Okay. Among all persons on earth, these cowherd women alone have actually perfected their embodied lives. For they have achieved the perfection of unalloyed love for Lord Govinda. Their pure love is hankered after by those who fear material existence, by great sages, and by ourselves as well. For one who has tasted the narrations of the infinite Lord, what is the use of taking birth as a high-class Brahmana or even as Lord Brahma himself? This is how Uddhava is glorifying the Gopis. So he sang the song in glorifying Gopis. Yeah? So, and in the purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti beautifully explains that the term Brahma Janma Bihi, Brahmanical births, refers to the threefold birth: the seminal parenthood, the sacred thread, and the sacrificial initiation. These cannot compare to pure Krishna consciousness. And in fact, he also writes, in fact, Uddhava, who spoke this word, took birth as a pure Brahmana, but he deprecates this position in comparison to that of the exalted Gopis. Okay, and in verse 60, now he is comparing the beautiful position of the Gopis, to whom even Lakshmi did not get the opportunity to serve Krishna. However, the Gopis had the mercy. So in text 60, Uddhava mentions, Nayam Shriyovangana Nintalarate Prasadaha Swaryo Shitam Nalina Gandha Rucham Utonyah Rasotsaveshya Bhujadvanda Grihata Kantha Labdha Sanam Sayudka Praja Vallabhinam. So he says, when Lord Krishna was dancing with the Gopis in the Rasalila, the Gopis embraced by the arms of the Lord. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other consorts in the spiritual world. So this is the beautiful position of Gopis, where even goddess Mother Lakshmi was never bestowed that position, but the Gopis had that mercy. Okay, and what to speak of worldly women who are very beautiful according to the material estimation. Yeah. So that is the position of Gopis that we have understand. And finally, when Uddhava is ready to leave Vrndavana towards Mathura, Uddhava aspires to be the dust, because he knows if he asks for the dust from the Gopis, they will not give him. So he aspires to be the grass or a gulmalata on the Braja Bhumi, so that whenever the Gopis go out, they can at least trample that particular grass or the herb or bush. Okay? And he can at least get the dust of such wonderful Gopis. He says, if I ask dust from them, they will not give. because they are simple and modest. So Uddhava says, if I can become a grass, the Gopis and Vrndavasis would stamp on me, and like that I can get the dust of the lotus feet. And in text 61, yeah, text 61, very beautiful verse. Uddhava says, Asam ahocharan renu jusam aham syam Vrndavane kim api gulmalatau shadinam Yadushtayajam yasvajanam aryapatam cha hitva Bhejur mukunda padavim shrutibir vimikram. The Gopis of Vrndavana have given up the association of their husbands. Now this is the exalted position of Gopis. They have given up their association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up. And we all can understand this very well. And they have forsaken the path of chastity to take the shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Oh, let me be fortunate enough to be one of the bushes, Gulmalato, creepers or herbs in Vrndavana, because the Gopis trample them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. Okay, and with that, while staying in Vrndavana, Uddhava sang this song, and then he's about to leave. When he's about to leave, Nanda Maharaj gave him a lot of gifts to be handed over to all of them in Mathuravasis. And with the broken heart, with the heavy heart, they see off Uddhava. And Uddhava also was overwhelmed by the topmost display of devotion by the Gopis that he had experienced while being there, and offers beautiful below prayers, at the lotus feet. So he offers, now as he's leaving Vrndavana, he offers beautiful prayers to Nanda Maharaj. Yeah? So he says, Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam, Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam, Pada Renum Abhikshanasaha, Yasam Hari Katho Geetam, Punati Bhavata Bhuvana Traya. So he says, Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam. I offer my obeisances to whom? Vande Nanda Vraja Strinam, Pada Renum Abhikshanasaha. Okay, I want to get the dust of the lotus feet. What happens? To whom? Yasham Hari Katho Geetam. And what happens? Punati Bhuvana Traya. Which means, when they glorify the Lord, I repeatedly offer my respects to the dust on the feet of the woman of Nanda Maharaj's Howard village. When these Gopis loudly chant the glories of Sri Krishna, the vibration purifies the three worlds. That is how, when pure devotees glorify the Lord, it actually purifies the entire three worlds. Yeah? Now, and after going back, Uddhava narrates all these, describes everything that he has experienced when he was in Vrndavana to Krishna. And Krishna, after hearing all these things, but so overwhelmed, he was also overwhelmed with the mood of separation from the Gopis and Vrndavasis. Yeah? The last thing which I want to mention is Uddhava's qualities. When we are speaking about Uddhava, we also need to understand what were the qualities of Uddhava. And this, when I heard from devotees, I just put up some points. So I'll just quickly narrate those points. He was a natural devotee of the Lord, which we also saw. He was a Nitya Siddha Bhakta. We also saw that by the fact that he used to wear his clothes, he used to wear his ornaments, he used to look like Krishna. And he also used to play with dolls in the form of Krishna when he was small. He used to dress them, feed them. That was the mood. He was totally absorbed. He served the Lord continuously. And as he grew, his service attitude grew leaps and bounds. It never diminished. Usually when we say that, to a certain point, we see that when sort of complacency kicks in, we see that, to some extent our service attitude or, the devotional services that we render sometimes takes a backstage. And we really need the devotee association to revive that again. Yeah, so, but here it is mentioned that Uddhava's, it never diminished. It was always on the growing path. Krishna was the life and soul for Uddhava. How dear was Uddhava to Krishna? Neither Lord Brahma, Shiva or Sankarsana goddess portion, nor myself is as dear. Krishna is saying, Krishna is telling about Uddhava. How dear is Uddhava to himself. Neither Lord Brahma, nor Shiva or Sankarshana, nor the goddess portion or myself is so dear to me as Uddhava, as you. So, and as also I mentioned that Uddhava was supremely intelligent because he was a disciple of Brihaspati, was the best counselor of the Vrishni dynasty, and he became a close friend of Krishna. Yeah. So that way Krishna also glorifies that Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way. Krishna is keeping Uddhava on the same platform. This is the glorification of Uddhava. And also Krishna says that he is never affected by the material moods of nature. And this is basically a very specific quality of any purity. Yeah. So thank you so much. I hope I could make some sense to this and some justification or some justice to this particular wonderful chapter of from Krishna book, chapter 46 and 47. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Krishna book ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Devotees on Zoom, if there are any questions, please ask Prabhuji directly, or you can enter in the chat window. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful narration of these pastimes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. When they said the infallible Krishna will soon return, didn't they ask how soon?
Even if they've asked Mataji, I'm pretty sure he would not have an answer, because I'm not sure whether they've asked. I've not read that.
Yeah.
But yes, it is not that they did not. I mean, there is no mention of that when.
Yes.
He will return. He will definitely return, is what was promised. And Krishna himself.
Never, but he never came back to Vrndavana.
Yes. We all also have heard of when we do Govardhana Parikrama. You all heard of Ujri Kalota Baba?
Yes, yes. Prabhu.
So he's still waiting over there.
Krishna.
So one other way we can understand is Krishna has never left Vrndavana. So during Akrura pastime also, when Akrura took a dip, so Krishna in the form of, he saw Krishna in Balrama inside. So Krishna has never left Vrndavana. He is always manifested in the bhava manifestations in Vrndavana, the bhava of Gopis and the Vrajavasis. And he is in Mathura in the Prabhava and Vaibhava manifestations in Mathura. So he, in a sense, Krishna has never left Vrndavana. These are all lessons to us that how in a Vipralamba Bhava we should also chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, perform our devotional services. That Krishna, obviously all of you all have that wonderful positions already booked in Goloka Vrindavana. You all have the services booked in Vrindavana, the Goloka. So in that particular mode or that service attitude or that Vipralamba Bhava, that mode of separation, we can render our services now. That is the only way, only kind of understanding that we should have. Krishna has never left Vrindavana. He was always there in the Bhava manifestations.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandat pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the wonderful narration of this entire event. It was so nice. It was really, it was really in a different mood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shall we end here, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Sri Balaji Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for very nice narration. Very short notice, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll show the darshan.